lads, really appreciate the support. I've been uploading a bit more the last few weeks and getting plenty of views and likes, so cheers. So, as you know before, if you go back a few videos, you'll see a review of the Zultron XT435 Extreme Tournament that I was using with the carbon tip. Now, I managed to get a glass tip version. Now, just the tip, so I'll be using the tip with the same butt. So this is the GT tip. Basically, the top three feet or so have been incorporated glass into it. Now, it's not fully glass. It's glass incorporated into the carbon, so it's much better bite detection. You can see much easier to bend that. The other one was very stiff. You can see how much easier it is to bend that. So, also helps it sit better in the tide, doesn't pull the lead out. So I'm hoping to try this out. I'll do some fishing with it this afternoon. So I don't know if you can see. So this is the glass tip. This is the carbon tip. It's been run accordingly. So the glass tip's on the bottom. Glass tip's on the bottom. You can see there's a lot more rings on the glass tip, especially in the top few feet. This is the spacings from Zultron, just to give a bit more support to the tip. So when you're reeling in, hopefully a big fish, and the tip's bent over, you know, it'll stop the line rubbing against the plank. So I've never really cast a glass tip rod before, in terms of tournament or any kind of tournament casting or pendulum casting even. So I think we'll go down first and have a few chucks with it, 6 ounce, and see how we get on. So looking forward to trying this. And the other thing was, oh yes, I managed to get a sort of rough ground reel for fishing for the bullhuss. So I picked up a second hand slosh, well, SL30SH slosh, as they're called, 30. So it's loaded with 200 meters of 0.45 Sulfix titanium, which is 30-pound line. So why not put this on the Zultron, try the glass tip, and go for it, and then go fishing there. So it's quite popular putting glass tips on powerful rods just to make them a bit more user friendly for fishing and stuff. I do prefer a carbon tip for casting, but we'll see how we get on with this glass tip. I'll do a deflection test here side by side, so you can see the two tips with a 500 gram one, which is just over a pound in weight. So let's do that now, and then go have a few casts with the slosh. Okay, two 200s and 100 gram. Let's put that on the tip. So another good thing about the glass tip is when you're fishing, you know, the glass tip folds out of the way and you're into a good strong meaty rod. So it works for a good powerful rod, just makes it better for fishing, I think. That's not to say you can't use it for tournament casting. Personally, I never have used a glass tip rod for tournament casting, but a few people have with great success. And the whole point of this glass tip for the Zultron, Jay told me that, Jay Lee from Zultron, there's a bit of carbon in the tip, but also glass blended into it, so it helps with recovery. Whereas a pure glass tip can sometimes, when you release the cast, it can flop about too much. So it should still be a nice crisp recovery, but much better bite detection. So here is 500 gram on both the tips. Hopefully you can see that better. So the lower one's the glass tip, the top one's the carbon tip. Quite a difference. The top carbon tip hasn't really bent at all, the other one's a couple of inches lower. Right, we'll just stick a shock leader on the slosh here. Using, because I'm going to go fishing with it later, I'm using a clear shock leader. Rovex 80 pound, which has reasonable stretch in it, but I think it works well for fishing with. You guys tell me, have you had more success? Because I'm going to be fishing in the daytime more than anything today, that is, this afternoon. Have you more success using clear leaders? Does coloured leaders put the fish off or whatever? So normally, if I'm casting, I just use a blob knot on the end of the shock leader and a U-knot. So because I'm fishing a bit more secure, I just do a simple overhand knot in the shock leader. Put the main line through the same side as the tag comes out from the shock leader. Bit of spit, and then a 5-turn U-knot of the main line on the shock leader. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now obviously this results in a slightly more bulky knot compared to a blob knot, but It's much more secure for fishing. Must say as well, I'm enjoying going out fishing a wee bit now again. For a while there, I blanked for, apart from tiny pollock and whiting, I was blanking for about a year. So you can see it's not exactly a tiny knot. That's what I use for fishing. Let's get this on. 2 big break blocks in this reel. It's 200 meters of 0.45, but mostly places I tend to fish for this, well, will be fishing with this, don't really need distance, so should be plenty of line. Unless I get a rogue taupe or something. Right, let's stick this on the rod. Probably mentioned these before, like these, it's octopus cricket bat tape, a small strip, maybe 3 inches long by about ½ inch wide. Just goes under the coaster. You don't have to worry about losing the thummy. Extremely grippy if you're not used to them. This may not be long enough. Oh, that's long enough. Now I've heard these reels can be kind of this review is basically about the Zolcron glass tip, but since I got this reel, might as well just do a quick thing on this. So someone told me these are sit quite high in the rod, but thankfully this rod's reasonably slim, 25mm diameter. I don't seem to have a problem getting the thumb on that, although it's not full up, but digs into my web. Digs into the web a wee bit there when I'm gripping it, but you can see, but it should be fine. Right, let's go down to the harbour. Tell all the boarders and kayakers and swimmers they all go away. And do some of my fishing style pendulum with a 175 gram lead, Sealine SL30 SH and the Zolcron GT XT435 GT glass tip. Let's do it. My 150 box is pretty much empty. They're all cracked off somewhere. Right, so let's grab a couple of 175s. Well, from the cloudy start this morning, it's turned out a lovely sunny clear day, which is brilliant for filming the casting, but might not be so good for the planned fishing trip later. But anyway, let's get some cast on. So GT tip, 175 gram lead. Well, first cast, the brake block exploded. I don't know why that happened. There was a slight bend in the pin, so maybe that's what's happened. Anyway, I'm going to have to go home and get another brake block because I didn't bring anything with me. Great. Like I said before, it's never easy. There's always someone in the way. Come on! So I probably should have put new blocks on. I mean, this reel's probably been sitting about for ages, so I think I was going to have two, one on each of the big red ones, but that one's a bit bent. So either the brake block has caught the edge of the ring, shattered, and then destroyed the other one. So I'm just going to put one red block on the one pin that's straight for now. Hopefully it'll be alright. Right, let's screw it back on, have a go. Right, it will actually go mental. It froze up again, the block. And now there's people fishing, not too far away. Just gonna have to wait. Right, hopefully that's the brake block problem fixed. Cast really well that with the 175, the glass tip. It does feel a wee bit softer, but it's not crazy soft. Once you get out of the way of the tip, the rod loads up lovely. So stick reel cam on here as well, so you can empty this Sealine, the Slush 30, 200 meters. Even with one block, it's still quite heavy braking, in my opinion, but it probably should be okay with a bait as well. And then let's get some sort of slow-mos and stuff from a few different angles to see what the action of this rod's like. Right, let's go. Reel cam, 175. Zolcron XT435 glass tip. thought something sounded funny there. There's another brake block away. I have no idea why it's doing this because... ah well, going to a different reel. Right, going on to the 7-inch T-Mag now, 175 gram. Just do a few fishing casts here with reel cam, a few different angles. Then we'll get some slow-mos to see how that glass tip works during the cast. But feels nice. You know, it doesn't feel super soft when you're swinging it, but you can feel there's a bit more give in it. You know, so I'm hoping to get out fishing with it this afternoon. Still very bright and sunny, but we'll see how we get on. So let's do a few casts just with reel cam, a few different angles, and then do some super slow-mos. Firing out that 175 ways, just reasonably easy cast, easy 170 yards, just with very little effort, just nice slow, a bit of a hit at the end, and really smooth. Wee tiny bit of a wobble release, but you expect that with a glass tip, but it's not as bad as some 100% glass tips, tiny wee wobble, but it's not like or anything. So get one super slow-mo here, just because I like to see if you can see the tip moving more, and then one absolutely blast it, and then that's it, home for lunch, and then get some bait together, go fishing. Lads, I'm kind of getting tired reeling in so much the last couple of days. Right, as Neil McKellar used to say, let's dig in for a real blaster. Let's smash this here on the glass tip, 175 gram. Right, that's a wrap for the casting part 1 of the XT435, the glass tip. So we'll go home, get some lunch, get some bait together. Might go fishing, if not today, tomorrow, and we'll do a bit of fishing with this here. As for the slosh, I think I'll probably just mag it. It'll be simpler. You don't want to have to be out fishing with that and brake blocks blowing up. Although maybe, I don't know, maybe they're not designed for that kind of casting, but you'd think they would be. Maybe it's just I don't really know what's happened there. I'll probably just mag it. But anyway, cheers guys, keep watching, keep subscribing. I appreciate all the likes and comments, and really help, and look forward to doing the fishing video with the GT, and hopefully get a bill huss or something on camera. Cheers, take it easy.